Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our live show, Charter Live with Felipe, every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm super grateful to have the opportunity today to come to you. We're currently live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And you can always find our recordings later on our YouTube channel. I have the pleasure to introduce our special guest today, Rabbi Laura Duhan-Kaplan. Let me bring her in. Hello, Rabbi Laura. How are you?
Hello, Felipe. I'm great. The sun is shining.
Mm, yeah. So you are located in Vancouver area in Canada?
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
Vancouver,
So
Canada.
what's the weather like right now? So sunny and everything?
It's sunny, it's beautiful, it's warm, and it's even going to be hot later.
Ugh, that's nice. That's very nice. Well, I'm grateful that you're able to join us because we are coming up with an upcoming course with the Charter Education Institute called, if you can help me out here. Oh, here it is, Spiritual Wisdom for Troubled Times. And this course is going to be taught by you, also Imam Jamal Rahman, and also Pastor Don Mackenzie, who all three together form the all-star trio of the Interfaith Amigos. So why don't you tell us a little of this course?
Yes, we're very delighted to offer this course and to have the opportunity to craft it and then to share the journey with others. It really explores the question, how do we build inner capacity to respond with compassion, um, even when the world is so polarized and the polarization is reaching into our families, our friendships, our spiritual communities? So, just to give one example of the kind of perspective that will take, I was looking at my social media feed this morning and I was noticing how many people are responding to politically oriented posts with snarky remarks and memes that they think are funny. But of course, these are all responses that, if we made them face to face, would not be nice at all. They would be terrible.
Yeah.
And of course, most of us know the difference between social media humor and interpersonal relationships. But the more we engage in those snarky kinds of exchanges, the more they build inner habits of thought and feeling, right, that perpetuate divisions. So we really want to look in this course at spiritual reflections, spiritual practices, spiritual perspectives that help us build a different inner landscape, responding with compassion instead of frustration or anger.
That sounds beautiful and honestly quite needed at this time. I feel like social media it can be an incredible tool for us to connect with other people around the world at any time, but also shows us the dark side of how can we take things and this the stress that adds to it. So at least for example in my feed, there's a lot of you know things that come up from the Gaza Strip and how the genocide is like, happening there, and but you see that there is information that is available for people, but then people can take it in a very bad connotation, and maybe even anti-Semitism or anti-Islam rhetoric and things like that. And so there's a lot that we can all learn and understand that. I think that especially for younger generations, I think anything termed like religious or spiritual tends to be almost like a no, thank you, I don't want it. But for people that are watching this either live now or later on, remember that at least in a belief system in general, we can all have different religions or belief systems, but everything starts with spirituality, which is like that connection, that oneness that we can all be part of. And maybe it's kind of like the water and tea. We can all have different kinds of tea with different religions, but the water is the spirituality and we all have it. So that's pretty awesome that we're able to like tap into that, see and feel that element of oneness and interconnectedness, I guess, and then see how can we address these things. And so let me just share my screen a little bit. This is the page, and I can put the link on the comment really quick. But this course starts May 20th, so that is next, not this Monday, but next Monday. It lasts 4 weeks, and the cost is $60. Again, this is going to be taught by Rabbi Laura, who is here with us, and then Pastor Don Mackenzie and Imam Jamal Rahman. And so you see that there's going to be 4 Zoom sessions. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And so one Zoom session per week. Okay, awesome. And so let me just stop sharing my screen there.
Yes.
So,
As you show that, I can say what the themes of the course are.
cool. Absolutely. Let's go for it.
We'll explore the themes of witnessing our biases,
Hmm.
paradox and mystery, ego and divine spark, weaving compassion.
That's amazing. And so, can I ask you really quickly, why is it that you came with those 4 themes, like those concepts, in order for you to guide this course? Because those are like very interesting titles, like ego and divine spark, weaving compassion. I see how it's for the end about paradox and mystery, or witnessing our biases. What is that all about?
We thought of them as a kind of journey. So when we start by witnessing our biases, we can see what are the aspects of ourselves that come up and block us from compassionate interpersonal responses. And then we'll look at paradox and mystery, how we can see things from multiple perspectives at the same time. Ego and divine spark, how can we quiet that voice that is always jumping up and saying, "But what about me? I don't want to see it your way." And then weaving compassion, we will take the threads of what we explored and use them, apply them to the goal that we're all seeking at the Charter for Compassion. Because we can't always change world events in a day, but we can change the way that we respond in our local communities fairly quickly. And that makes a difference. That ripples out because we are the same people engaged in the bigger projects.
I was just gonna say, I think that the key component of this is how it ripples out. It requires one person to experience and share compassion with everybody else around their surroundings, for other people to start imitating and expressing compassion towards others. And we can create this effect, the ripple effect, right? Like we can keep growing and everything. And so this is coming at an incredible time for people to become those ripples of compassion in their own communities.
Yes, and one last point. It's very important to the 3 of us who love interfaith and want to spread the message of how powerful that can be. It's very important to each of us to make the point that our spiritual traditions all have these practices for developing compassion. We know that in troubled times, people look at other religious traditions sometimes as threats or enemies, but all traditions have strands and perspectives and histories of people working toward shared compassion, and we want to amplify that.
Absolutely. And what a beautiful concept to be able to work with, a person from the Jewish, from the Muslim, and from the Christian communities together into this concept of spirituality and compassion. Rabbi Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us a little bit more about the course. We're super excited to be able to be the platform for you to teach this and to share these ripples of compassion with other people, so that we can create a little bit more peace, a little bit more connectedness, and understanding that we are all the same and we're all one.
Amen and amen.
Thank you so much again for joining us. We'll be seeing you soon. All right, that was awesome. I'm so glad that the Charter for Compassion is able to host this kind of spaces, so that we can see that there is more than just religion or just one true path, but maybe there is a full one for everyone connected. So very grateful for Rabbi Laura to join us at this time. So let's go ahead and share my screen, so then we can go into what is happening with the Charter for Compassion for the upcoming weeks. So if you click here on the website, charterforcompassion.org, you can click on Join Upcoming Events and the event calendar. We have so many things happening all the time, as you already know. But Marilyn and her webinar, The Magic Ability of Music to Inspire Action, is every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. This next one is coming on the 15th. It's about new performers, and it's a great, it's going to be a great gathering and listening session. And there are different languages, different cultures, different things happening. and it's all looking really, really awesome. So that is every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific. And you can check the time, the local time, using the daytime converter on your website right there. It is free to attend, but there is a suggested donation of $10 that, your donation goes far with us, and we can, help us promote other things that are happening in our organization. Peace on Earth 2030. We have told you about this already. This is a program led by David Gershon, who was involved with passing the torch around the world back in the 80s. He has been encouraging this peace game that has been started in different cohorts. I was able to participate on one back in I think I want to say December or around that time, and it lasts about 6 weeks. It is a very internal game that allows us to once again create ripples of compassion around us, just like the course that Rabbi Laura was talking about. And the next cohort starts on May 15th, 2024. And we are very excited to be able to not only be part of that, but promote it in our platform. And we strongly encourage everyone to join on this event. There is something called, when we join together and there's enough people in this world that believe the same, it's called something like critical mass. And when there's enough people that believe in compassion, there's enough people that live in peace, we're able to tilt the environment in general in the world to go into that idea. And so the more people know how to be compassionate, the more people know how to express compassion and spread compassion, more compassion will be felt in this world. So we strongly encourage that. And let me put the link right now on the chat so that you can sign up for that whenever possible. But yeah, so there's one more information. No, there's no more information meetings. Information meeting was the song when we was Wednesday, but this next cohort starts on May 15th and it will go until July 10th. And it's every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. You will be joined by hundreds of people around the world. On my cohort, most of the people were in the Western Hemisphere, but we had a ton of people from Afghanistan. Girls that in Afghanistan at the moment can't access education or anything, were able to participate in the peace game and create changes from in the grassroots level in Afghanistan, which I thought was incredible. So let me just put on the chat peace game right there. As I put on the chat, let me just tell you that this comments are shown right now on our Facebook and our YouTube page, but later on I will be adding all these links to our Twitter and our LinkedIn feed as well. Next, we have we have spiritual wisdom. That's going to be the course that starts on May 20th. But we also have another course starting on May 21st called Wicked Issues: Adaptive Action for Compassionate Communities. This is a course led by Glenda Eoyang, who is part of the, if I'm not mistaken, the Human Dynamic Systems Institute, or very similar to that. But yes, she is amazing. She has a lot of experience on Human System Dynamics Institute. That's what it's called. She is a pioneer on the complexity of science of human systems, and she knows how people work and how communities work and how can we shape those communities as we face different issues. So this course is obviously encouraged for anyone that wants to join and learn a little bit more about this, but we're especially trying to provide this course for compassionate communities, those communities that are in the Compassionate City Network, people and organizations that have joined together and created their compassion community in the city. This course is for you. This will help you to be more adaptive with the situations that are happening daily, and see how things are changing and how can you adapt to it and address them in the best possible way. So we strongly encourage you to participate. For anyone to join us, obviously, but especially for compassionate communities, sign up for the Charter for Compassion. Last but not least, I wanted to bring up to you our newsletter. So maybe you have a friend or someone that doesn't really do social media, because as you know, we're pretty active on social media, but if they're not super active on social media, or they don't get or a lot of people don't get our posts just because we're not favorited and the algorithm is just so fantastic working with us, right? We have a newsletter, and the newsletter is very to the point. We always have some sort of message. Usually Marilyn, our executive director, writes it, but we can have guest writers as well, and part of the staff usually writes sometimes, but not outside of the text or the message that is there. We give you a detailed information of all the different events that are happening during the week or during the next upcoming weeks or months. It comes twice a month, so it's not like you get them every week on your inbox. We try to be very careful with that. We don't sell you information. It's all stays with us. And we strongly encourage you to sign up to our newsletter, because that's the easiest, simplest way to find out about everything that is happening with the Charter for Compassion. So with that, my friends, I think it is time for me to say goodbye. Next week, we will have Glenda Ayoyang, the instructor for Wicked Issues course, joining us to tell us a little bit more about the course and about how that is going to be developed. We're super excited to be able to provide that opportunity as well, not only for compassion communities, but for anyone that would like to sign up. If you have any questions, if you'd like to participate on this live show or any of the other activities that we provide at Charter for Compassion, please reach out. We are a network of networks, and that means that we want to connect you with anyone that possibly is in our network around the world. Contact at charterforcompassion.org, or simply just send us a message on our social media platforms. We'll be seeing you next week with another live show, and hope